We're saying hello to you. Okay, we're saying you're very good looking. Please stand up. Okay, Sylvia Mahal. Sylvia Mahal? Mahal? Oh, hi Sylvia.
Mahal.
Mahal. Right. I'm sorry, I'm culturally challenged. And again, pioneer family who owned the club New Delhi nightclub in Chinatown. So she knows all about that scene. Shinobu Homa and Lucy Komori from Bing Tom Architects. They're pointing at each other over here. Excellent stuff. Sally Paterman. Where's Sally?
Hatesman.
Hateman. Hateman from Sai Wu Restaurant. Did I pronounce that correctly? Okay. Great. We're going to have a party at after party at Sai Wu. Wonderful. Stephen Wong. Stephen Wong of Modernized Tailors. If you want a suit, come see Stephen. Recognize your father Bill and mother Zoe are good friends of my parents. Chinatown historian and tour guide. Who is that going to be? Judy Maxwell Lamb. Judy Maxwell, Judy. Bill Chu. Where's Bill? Bill is CEO of Canadians for Reconciliation Society. Bill and I got to know each other on the head tax redress issues of 2005 and 6. Vancouver Sun reporter Joanne Lee Young. Where's Joanne?
Here.
I can't hear you, Joanne. Louder! There's Joanne. Okay, we're going to keep it on Joanne. Alyssa Said of Jesus. Alyssa Said of Jesus from the Road Museum. Oh, excellent! Sorry I hadn't met you before. You're at the same table as my friend Joy Kogawa. Excellent. We should do some events together. Lai Fong Lurong, co-founder of the Chinese Canadian Writers Association over this end table. Lai Fong. Vietnamese Canadian writer Tom Van Riddick. Where's Tom? I haven't seen Tom for a long time. You haven't been inviting, we haven't had many Asian Canadian Writers Workshops sometimes. Candy Tanaka. Candy is an artist. She works at the library with me. She's also representing Exploration, the Vancouver Heritage Month Society. Judy Hanazawa. Where is Judy? Judy's at my table! Great. Judy is a Japanese Canadian Citizens Association and JCCA Human Rights Committee, and you were also helpful in getting, I don't know, lots of things done. Because part of it is, you may have read the article with Judy in the Vancouver Sun, where she's making sure that the BC government is recognizing important places during the Japanese internment and Japanese Canadian history. I shared that on Facebook. I did. Okay, writers Lucy Lamb. Where's Lucy? Lucy? Here. Oh, here in the front. Lucy! Lucy's a bit shy. We'll introduce her again later. Yep. Our panel discussion moderator and ACWW board member, Julia Lin. Where's Julia? Julia's in the back. She's been working really hard behind the scenes. Yep. Chi-Ho Young. Where's Chi-Ho? There's Chi-Ho and Monica and her son Alex. They have been our graphic designers for the Literation Festival. Our grant writer, Mary Ann Anderson. Way in the back. Okay, everybody wave to Mary Ann. And Cindy Chan Piper. Oh, last time I saw you were at the front welcoming everybody and making sure everybody's seated. She is our festival coordinator and my cousin's cousin. We're related. Our volunteers tonight have been Kristen, Ada Khan, Evelyn, Bonnie, Vanessa Lowe. Please stand up. And a big hand for our volunteers and everybody here today. We're around the corner. Yeah. There's a volunteer table. Very important to do. What else we got, Jim? Yes, so we have around the back on the other side from the volunteer table, we do have the silent auction. So we mentioned there's some great gifts from Arsenal Pulp Press. There are bottles of wine that you donated. There's lots of surprises. There's graphic posters or graphic prints. BC Royal Cafe that you donated personally. Does Marlene know? No. Marlene doesn't know. Marlene is Jim's wife. Marlene works very tirelessly making sure that Jim stays healthy while Jim does all this volunteer work. And we do have the raffle. Did everybody buy the raffle tickets? Because it does help to support Asian Canadian Writers Workshop so that we can put on events like this and have more writers speaking and do things like that. So please buy your raffle tickets. You know, and I will tell you, I didn't buy a...
And 10, 15 years ago, there was barely anybody Asian that was getting published. And every season, you know, there's a spring and then there's a fall season. We'll be waiting with bated breath to see if there's an Asian writer getting published at all. And so one day, one of our directors said, why don't we try to guarantee a writer? So we created this thing called the Emerging Writer Award. And what's so unique about it is that most awards are made for somebody that's published a book and then you look at it and say, well, you're the best book. But what we decided to do was that we were using it to attract manuscripts. And what we would do is that we would take the very best manuscript and we'll find a publisher for it. So we're literally guaranteeing the publishing of a brand new writer every year. And in the past, Madeline Tien was our first winner of our fiction writing. And she's now gone on, now she's right now shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. So she's gone a long, long ways. Our poetry winner was Rita Wong, and she's teaching at Emily Carr, and she's doing great things with her writing. But anyways, yeah. So, but what happened was that we revived the award because during the interim years we were trying all these odd things like young adult novels and all that, and it didn't take hold. So we revived it last year and we did it for fiction. We had 13 entries, and out of there we got to the final with the jury, and they were fighting over which one was the best. So I just said to them, why don't we have both? So for the very first time we had co-winners, and one of them is Philip Pun, and Philip is actually here today. And Philip, amazingly enough, Philip not only is going to get published, but he's also found an agent, which to me, for a first-time writer, that's the most amazing thing you can ever have. So he is probably going to be the next big superstar writer, and probably might be one of the ones that we're going to start launching the whole generation of new writers. But anyways, I want Phil to come up, and I want him to do an excerpt from his award-winning manuscript.
Actually, Jim, can you put the microphone back there and him stand it back there?
Can I just say that if I faint because I'm in the same room as Joy Kagoa, Paul Yee, and Denise John, and Chung Goodek, please forgive me if I faint in the middle of this. But I'm just so grateful to be picked as the co-winner of this prize. I'm sure there were all these other manuscripts just as worthy, and I am so lucky that Professor Glenn Deere and the other judges chose mine and others. And yeah, I mean, because of this prize, I found an agent. I have a hope of getting my collection published. it's never an easy thing to do with short stories. So this is more of a message to all the emerging writers out there. It's more of a message to the emerging writers out there, like, polish up your manuscript, send it in to this contest. You won't regret it. You know, or send it to Ricepaper. That's how I started publishing. Whether you win or not, you'll find support for your writing through this organization. And you know, this whole organization, this event, the people I've met, it makes the lonely business of writing just a little less lonely. So, anyway, in terms of just reading a little bit of an excerpt, I was thinking about the theme of history and memory throughout this weekend. So I was born here. And so the questions I asked myself is, you know, how do we who are born here preserve memories we don't have and recover a history that we don't have easy access to because we're separated from our origins by, you know, distance and language. But, you know, I mean, you still have to try, right? So one of my stories, it's just about a bunch of grade school kids from Vancouver who meet a refugee from Vietnam named Tan. He's the son of a GI that he's never met, and a Vietnamese mother who's lost her mind. And the kids here are just fascinated by him. He's from the old country, and they've never been there. They kind of worship him. He's a vegetarian, so they stop eating meat, and they follow him. They think of him as a fortune teller, and when he plays hooky at school, they skip school too and follow him. So they start a kind of quasi-religious ritual in a parking lot in a back alley off Ninth Street. So this is an excerpt from it. Of course, the next time that Tan skipped class, we came looking for him after school. We had to overcome our fears of that alleyway, of that sudden wind and noises. And so we each brought along our own objects of comfort. When we made it to the dead-end fence, we stopped just short of the white parking stripe, just like Tan had told us. We stood there, enduring the cries of the pigs, the sheep, and the chickens, until Tan emerged and all those noises disappeared, and all we could hear was Tan's mother scolding herself in the distance. We waited until Tan placed the cloth and the amulet upon the white stripe of the parking stall and sat down cross-legged. Then we each took out something from our knapsacks. One of us brought a little figurine of the Virgin Mary, which he placed on the white stripe. Another had a rosewood carving of the Buddha, while another had a picture of the Bodhisattva Kuan Am and rosaries. Others placed their favorite Star Wars action figure, or a Care Bear, or a rubber parachute man. I had a plastic battle cap of the He-Man series, with its perpetually bared fangs and yellow stripes set against a green suggestion of fur. So smooth that you could pet it along the grain in any direction. I took my figurine out of my knapsack and placed it amongst the rest of our little protected friends. We also brought candies. There were boxes of jawbreakers. There were lime and grape nerds that were like sparkling, rough-hewn grains of kryptonite. There were also runts, these iridescently lacquered tiny fruit dolls, and solid bars of Macintosh toffees. We piled all of these into an offering for Tan. At this, Tan smiled, opened a box of runts, and told us to share the rest of the candies among ourselves. Now, as he chewed on hard candies, he was in the mood to talk. We sat there and gorged on sugar, while Tan spoke to us idly of the confections of our ancestors, of sweetened rice wafers and tamarinds that he ate and kept the seeds to play marbles with, of candied nuts and silkworms. All of this talk made the nerve